Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, the South African Wanderer, and it's been almost 2 months since I've gone on any road trips or been out in the bush proper. I've been to the Pilansberg a couple times in between those 2 months, just doing my day trips with some customers, but I haven't really been out on my own trips since the last road trip to Cape Town. So I bet you're wondering, like, when's the next trip? And even I myself am wondering that. And after 2 months, basically in the house, I've got some itchy feet and also want to escape. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think the next trip I've got planned is about a month from now. But what I wanted to do quickly is jump on and show you how I normally navigate through the SANParks website and do my online bookings, whenever I'm visiting a SANPark. So even with that trip down to Cape Town, I stopped along the way in, SANParks, run parks, being Mountain Zebra and then the Garden Route National Park to get to Cape Town. I think I've said this before, but SANParks or South African National Parks is the organization that runs the national parks here in South Africa, and you can book any of their 21 national parks from their website. You can book your accommodation or things like 4x4 trails or hiking trails or, anything like that SANParks runs can be booked on their website. So we're gonna quickly jump on and show you how to navigate using the Kruger Park as an example. I think of the parks, the Kruger Park would be the most complex because it has the most number of camps and the almost the biggest number of types of bookings as well. Okay, so I've quickly searched for SANParks in Google, and that will take you through to their website. And here you see the landing page, and you've got a list of all the parks that they manage, and then some of the activities and some itineraries and experience that you can actually explore. So you can explore the parks, through this menu on the left-hand side, where it'll give you a quick description and then the location on the map as well. But you'll also see at the top of the website, there are these widgets that you can then click on, and you can explore the parks as well. But you can also, check availability, book some or look at some of the activities, and then go through to the online booking site on those widgets as well. So we're going to click onto the Explore and go through to the Kruger National Park page. So with the Kruger National Park, if you go to where to stay, because we're looking for accommodation now, and then click on the accommodation, it'll give you a rundown, a general description of the different types of accommodation available, from camping to huts, safari tents, bungalows, cottages, and the more luxury accommodation options available. So when I travel, traveling on a budget and usually traveling alone, I'm usually camping or in a safari tent. Sometimes the safari tent works out better than the huts in terms of the cost. Or we use bungalows, which in the Kruger are generally defined by BD2 or BD3 units. I think that's the shorthand for it. So the next thing you can do is, check general availability. So like I said, with Kruger, you're going to have the main camps, and there's a number of them. Then you're going to get bushveld camps, which are sometimes referred to as satellite camps, overnight hides, the two of them, Sable Hide and Shipandani, and then the bush lodges. So you can check availability on all of them altogether. So what we're going to do is just quickly select a date. Let's do May 1st will be a busy weekend, so availability is going to be a bit worse. So let's try 5th of May, and then we'll say go. And then this will show you the availability of all the camps in the Kruger for that date. So here's all the availability. So Baluli is fully booked and usually is fully booked, and then you get through to Battalier Bush Camp. Bergendal is one of the bigger camps, so you'll see they'll have campsites, bungalows, family cottage, and guest houses. And as you scroll down the list, you'll go through the different availabilities as well. So it's showing you the availability on the different camps. And then if you click on, for instance, this bungalow unit in, where's this? Letaba camp, so BG3, it will generally give you a sort of description of that unit, the rates, and then sometimes they have images. So the website's just a bit slow at the moment, so they'll have images of the different accommodation units. I'm just going to refresh this page and see if it loads better. Okay, let's try this guest cottage at Battalier. So here's the images of the guest cottage, and you can quickly go through how the accommodation looks. Okay, so you then have to click on the book and pay directly online, and you can also click this book your trip orange tab on the top right if you want to go through to the booking page. And then it gives you the new online bookings website. And for whatever reason, your previous search is null and void, and you have to start again. So I think, that's the funny thing about the SANParks website. You check availability, and then somehow, if you want to book the availability that you've just checked, you are not sent through to the site to make the booking. You have to almost go through the whole process again with the new booking site. So that being said, I think let's go through and actually show you how this new booking site works. So this is the landing page when you click on the orange tab from the SANParks site. And what you're going to do then is select your park, which is Kruger National Park. Check in, check out dates. At least here you've got a calendar. So we're going to go 5th of May to Sunday, the 7th of May. And then we're just going to search. We haven't landed on a camp, let's say. So one thing to be wary of is you'll get a landing page that looks very sparse with very few results. Don't be alarmed by that, because there's this See More tab. So then you click See More, and it will keep adding camps to the availability and sort of the overview. why I think this landing page is quite nice is it gives you the opportunity to book multiple camps. So you can see, for instance, Crocodile River is busy, but if you want to start your trip off camping in Letaba camp, you'll see there's two sites available on Friday, nothing on Saturday, so you'll need to move either to a hut or a safari tent in Letaba, or you can check, what's the availability in some of the other camps, such as Olifants, which is reachable from Letaba, Mopani, which is also, reachable from Letaba, and you can book multiple sites, multiple camps on the site like that. So then, if for instance, you want to go to Satara or Open Rest Camp, you want to stay in the center of the Kruger, you then can filter by Satara, and then you can also filter by, the type of accommodation you want. Just in case, let's say you don't want to camp, then you can unclick camping, or in my case, I wouldn't want a cottage or a guest house with just one person, and then we'll search. So here's the results for that search. So let's say for that weekend, Satara has CK6, which is sort of the camping site. There's one available on Friday, and then you probably have to switch to a bungalow. So you go from 380 to 1830 for Saturday, and you can then camp on Sunday again. There's a campsite available there. CK6P, which is got power. So I think one of the things I would recommend before making your booking, if it is your first time booking, is going through the different codes on these on the SANParks website. So for instance, the campsites with power will have a P behind it. There are specific units that are access friendly, so they have easier access. I think they designated with a Z at the end, and then there's different designations, and if you have a specific need, go through the website and look at it, and then just make sure that you're booking something that's meeting your needs. So for instance, I would want to have a campsite that's got power because I need to recharge batteries, and it makes it easier with lights and things like that as well. So I would prefer a powered campsite, but if for whatever reason on the weekend I'm traveling, there isn't availability of that, or there's availability only on specific days, I then make a plan and switch in between, charge with the USB in the car, things like that, and try to make do. So then let's say we want to book the bungalow for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday. So we just click on that bungalow, and then it will say check out on Sunday. So there were availability. Here's the bungalow with just the two pictures, 2 beds, aircon, communal kitchen. So once you've checked that the dates are correct and the accommodation is the correct accommodation in the correct camp, you're going to go through and it's going to ask you about conservation fees. So there's 3 options. The first is the wild card, which I'll explain shortly. Then you can pay when you get to the park, or you can pay while you're making the booking now. So on the wild cards, conservation fees per day are 115 Rand. So if you are staying, I think, more than 6 days in the park, you're going to pay the cost of the wildcard, or almost the cost of the wildcard. So the wildcard cost is $7.90 for all parks that are under SANParks, as well as some of the partner parks through Cape Nature or Ezebvelo. Although I must just check, there's some Ezebvelo parks that are not under the umbrella for Ezebvelo that actually falls under the wildcard. I think Shishlui falls under the wildcard, but Isimangaliso maybe Ezebvelo only. I'm not too sure why they do it like that. So the All Parks cluster is $7.90. Then you can do a SANParks cluster, which is $7.60. But I think that 30 Rand difference to get Cape Nature and Ezebvelo and some other partner parks is actually quite worth it. So, it's just 30 Rand for the year and you can have yourself covered. So if you work on that $7.90, 115 Rand per day over 6 days is $6.90. So up to 6 days, you pay your conservation fees per day. And then if you go to the 7th day, it means that you will be paying more than if you bought a wild card. So if in a year you intend to spend more than 7 days in any of the SANParks in South Africa, I think it's just well worth it to pay their money and get the wild card. So I've got my wild card, so I'll just click that option and then we'll get the quote. So then here's your quote: 2 nights for a BG2 bungalow is 3.3. And then one thing to mention is you do get a web discount, which is 5% on the booking, and then they add in a community levy, which is then added to your bill, and then you get your total cost. So then you can go through and book at your leisure. But basically, that's sort of the way you go through booking on the SANParks website. I think, like I mentioned earlier, the Kruger National Park is probably one of the more complex ones to do because of having multiple main camps, multiple satellite camps, bushveld camps, etc. And it takes a little bit of a while to get to know, the Kruger well enough to say, okay, I want to stay in the middle of Kruger, so I'm going to do Open Satara, Letaba, possibly with a visit to Olifants, or Olifants, Letaba, Mopani. That's a good, 8 or 9 day trip between those 5 camps. And then you can enter through Open Gate and leave through Palaborowa Gate and stay in the center of the park. Or, you go through to the south of the park and do camps like Pretoria Skop, Lower Sabi, Crocodile Bridge, Skukuza. It all depends on how well you know the park and how much you want to explore in the time that you have to visit the park. I think a couple other cautions on using the online booking. There are some things that get booked out even before they're available online. So I've had issues trying to book the Otter Trail. That one you do telephonically. You call them up the day before it's available online because they get sold out that day. Online bookings are almost always just for people who've canceled and they pop up, on short notice, and you need to be almost on the site on the daily. And then if you go into the Kalahari, the thing to know is that stringing 6, 7, 8 days together becomes very difficult with the 3 main camps that they have. So Tweerevieren, Nosog, and Matamata. And with the Kalahari in particular, if you are not, staying in unfenced camps, such as Eurekarais or bitter pan, and you don't have a 4x4, it becomes very difficult to string together, 6 or 7 days without changing camps constantly. Also, Tweede for the Kalahari is sort of the gateway into the Kalahari, and you don't want to be spending all your time at Tweede. So sometimes you almost need to know the parks well enough to say, okay, I want to spend 4 days in Nossob, for instance. So you go find your 4-day slot in Nossob, and then you book Tweede going in and out. And as a bonus, if there's mata accommodation available, during that time, either before or after Nossob, then you can do Tweede, mata, Nossob, Tweede, and then out again. So it takes a little bit of knowledge when you are booking sometimes. I think with the Kruger as well, because of the vastness of the Kruger, just to know where you're going, what you want to be doing, and which will be the best camps to do that. So yeah, this is my hopefully quick video explaining it all. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. And hopefully I can actually go through and book one of these trips very soon and be out in the bush again very soon. But until the next video, keep wondering, and hopefully we'll catch you soon.